Going on?
Yep.
Should I get over there?
Yes.
A giant, hairy creature, part ape, part man. Indians call him Sasquatch. They believe he is as gentle as he is powerful and mysterious. He's been seen many times in the rugged mountains and deep woods of the Pacific Northwest. The encounters have not always been peaceful.
Uh-oh. There it is. There it is. Will Sasquatch Clark in the newsroom. How come the encounters have not always been peaceful, Will? Was somebody taking your donut?
Sometimes I don't get my caffeine in the morning.
Is that what it is?
I need that couple hours to kind of get with it.
Well, I'm super excited because we're bringing in our friend Connie Willis, who many of the listeners know her from. She co-hosts or fills in a lot on Coast to Coast AM. Mm-hmm. And welcome, Connie. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's
good to see you.
Good to be here with you guys.
So, yeah, I told you my first job in radio was babysitting Coast to Coast overnight.
Right.
And so like the first night I was there, I got no training. They just said you're going to watch the computer unless it's make sure nothing comes up. Now, the radio station that I worked at was in basically a trailer in the middle of the woods that was across from a prison where they had found a body in the parking lot a few days before. And the guy says, okay, there's a prison across the street. Somebody escaped. Here's a bar to protect yourself. Oh, and the station's haunted. See ya. And I'm in there the rest of the night listening to Art Bell. So that was awesome.
Where was that? That sounds like the first one I was at.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even remember. It was one of those little country radio stations you do. It's just like one of those little bitty in a town. So
what I did at WMGB.
Everybody has that story, right?
Georgetown, yeah, right.
We all have that story. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So, but we hear you on Coast to Coast a couple times a month.
Thank you.
And you actually broadcast when you do out of the studio that I use for my show on WLAP every morning.
Yeah.
And apparently that room's haunted.
Yeah. Well, at first I was coming in here, and it just seemed, in the middle of the night when you got this big window,
yeah,
people looking in. I was like, no, I don't want anybody.
You don't want Sasquatch looking through the window.
Happening to me in the 4 or 5 in the morning. Exactly. So I said, and because of that show, you need setting, you need mood.
Yeah.
So I
need a spooky room,
and I didn't know it was your room, but I went back there and said, no, this is the room.
Well, it's not my fault it's spooky, just so you know.
The vibe is right. Yeah. No, I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it is a spooky room. I was doing a show there one night, and I felt something on my hoodie. Something touched my hoodie.
Really?
I was wearing a hoodie that night. Something tugged on my hoodie. And I said to the board op, who, by the way, when I do Coast to Coast, the board op is out in L.A.
Right.
And the board op is Nathan Staten, who used to work here.
No way.
Yeah.
Small world. That's
so I said, Nathan, I just felt something on my hoodie. And he said, what room are you in? And I told him what room I was in. And he said, Connie, is that right back where the train tracks are, right? Back there. Yeah. I said, yeah. And he said, that's haunted. They say that caught on fire at one point, and some lady died there.
No way.
And that's what I said. He said, no, seriously.
Well, that's great because I have to work out of it every morning. So thanks for that.
Yeah, well, Connie, I'm there in the middle of the night.
You also have a YouTube channel, which we're on live right now.
Yeah, we are live on Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. We are live there right now, so you can watch myself and Leland. Yeah, wave to everybody. Yay!
Awesome. Well, I'm going to bring in Will Sasquatch Clark, who is in our newsroom, and people have been citing him all over town. People don't believe me that this guy has definitely got some Sasquatch in his lineage, but I thought, who better to figure this out than to bring in a Sasquatch expert to interview our Sasquatch? So y'all go at it here, and I'll just interject from time to time when I see fit, which is never proper, but I'll do it anyway. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I pulled up like 10 questions to ask here.
Perfect.
So I'm hoping I can get through them all because I've kind of saved the best for last, right?
Okay.
But I gotta kind of work up to it here. So, all right. So first of all, and this isn't even part of my questions, but I noticed you're a U of L fan, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Is Sasquatch a Bigfoot? Yeah, UK or U of L fan? And it's just a Kentucky thing to ask.
Sasquatch goes wherever there's a game.
Okay. I like that. All right.
Brilliant.
Okay. So, are there many of you, and this is going to determine if you're a Sasquatch or not, or it's in your lineage at all. Are there many of you, or is there just one that travels the world that everybody sees?
There's a handful that are Sasquatch size. Yeah, I'd say there's a handful. I wouldn't say that there's a large number of us.
It's like, this is not how I picture Sasquatch talking, but it's like I'm watching it, so I know it's true. But it's like I normally I would have thought you've been, but that's not happening. So
yeah.
I have my beef jerky. I'm fine.
Well, actually, they would mind speak, so you wouldn't even hear them talk, just in your mind. So many say that you have a really, really bad smell at times. Not all the time. Some smell,
yes,
some do not.
He does.
So,
I'm answering that for him.
Well, I mean, are you glad that, sometimes you use dial or sometimes you don't? Tell us what's going on with that.
You have to get the heavy duty stuff, because you're out there rolling around in the woods. Pine cones and stuff get stuck to you, kind of.
Charmin or no?
Yeah.
The bears use Charmin.
I mean, it works for them. I don't see why it wouldn't work for me.
Well, here's something that you kind of mentioned a second ago, but lots of Bigfooters, these are the people that go out and research, they love to leave treats out for Sasquatches like you. And that's a blessing, it's a gift, it's a kind of a communication. Mm-hmm. So be honest now. Do you like the beef jerky, or do you only do that because of pure contract sake?
Oh, no, the beef jerky's good stuff. I'm all in.
It's not the
I love that Connie Willis wants to know if Sasquatch is just in it for the money.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that. That's right.
If there was money to be had in eating beef jerky, I would need an agent.
You have one. You have one if you've got this deal. Okay, so Bigfoot are known to play pranks all the time, as seen on the beef jerky. It's real. It's true.
Yes.
But what is the biggest prank that you like to pull on people?
Wow.
Ooh, this is a big
negative.
This is
good, man. You made him think.
Oh, see, a Bigfoot would know immediately.
She obviously hasn't seen the video of me dumping the plastic balls from the newsroom on your head, because I'm the one that's always playing pranks on you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm usually the victim of a prank.
Messing with Sasquatch.
Messing with Sasquatch.
Typically, Sasquatch is more responsible for a snarky tweet than a prank.
Yeah, this is true.
Oh, so he's a sad, geeky Sasquatch. So you're a whole totally different than, getting back and getting
social
even.
media Squatch.
Yeah, social media Squatch. So, some claim to have found Sasquatch scat, poo-poo. Okay, but most say that that's impossible. There's no way. It's not real. So I got to ask you, why is this? Are you constantly constipated? I mean, can we help you?
No, it's a common misconception. The Sasquatch is more civilized than that. There's always a porta-john available somewhere.
Okay.
I love that question.
You're a fourth grader.
I know. But it makes sense that, it makes sense because we're trying to figure out whether or not Sasquatch is of higher intelligence, which he is.
Mm-hmm. And I don't need to know, I don't even need to ask if you like doing number one in the woods, because you are male, so that's just a given. And we women wish we could do the same. It's not as easy. God. It's just not as fun.
That's awesome.
So now, I've never heard of people giving beer or alcohol to any of these beings, but since you are claiming to be a Bigfoot, how many beers does it take before you can take no more?
That's awesome.
That's a good question, because this Squatch doesn't drink.
Oh, really?
So I can't speak for other Squatches out there.
It would be kind of fun to get Sasquatch drunk, though, around the campfire and see what happens.
Especially, you got to have a Kentucky Squatch needs bourbon,
It's just root beer. Okay. Don't worry about that. It's just root beer.
Yeah. Okay, we would be the most famous. Who would be the most famous Bigfoot of all to all humans? What is their name? This would really be very telling, very serious if you are a Sasquatch or not, because you would know who the most famous Sasquatch of all is, what it's named.
The most famous Sasquatch. Huh.
Oh, loser, recluse. He just stays to himself, geek, social media.
I kind of hang out in my own little...
I think he's from the Pacific Northwest family and got cut off.
Oh, well, then he would know. Then he would know that one. But maybe that's the family that cut him off.
There was a movie.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Am I really happy to coach you?
I'm so human. He is so human. I can't even say. Okay, all right. Well, that answer is Patty of the Patterson-Gimlin film, which just celebrated 50 years of that particular evidence ever being shot.
So I was thinking more like actual Hollywood celebrity.
See, not a Sasquatch.
Not viral celebrity.
It's not that he's not a Sasquatch, it's that he's been too exposed to humans for too long.
He has been abandoned by his family.
Kind of like a reverse Jungle Book thing.
Right, it is. Yeah. Bigfoot has been seen with many different colors of hair. Yeah. We're talking black, dark brown, reddish, white, even blonde Sasquatches. Mm-hmm. Who does your color? And why have you chosen the color you've chosen?
I home color. It's cheaper. And I just go with the standard brown. I'm just kind of plain. I'm out there.
Yeah, no.
That's awesome.
Just the brunette look.
No streaks,
yeah. Because we don't want Squatch to get any salt and pepper gray at all. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, Bigfoot, they're known to have telepathy or what we call mind speak. That's what I was speaking before. Normally, there is a voice, and people will hear their names being called out, and they will hear howls and different things like that. However, usually they talk with mind speak. So if you're truly a Bigfoot, you can do this. So go ahead. I want you to ask me anything you'd like to, just between you and I, and let's just a second of silence while he asks me something. Go ahead and ask me something. How dare you! My gosh! Sexual harassment! I
can't believe you did that.
Typical male. You guys.
What did you ask her?
I'm calling an attorney on this one. You said an attorney showing up here?
Yeah, and it's on video, too. That's the thing, man. I mean, we're on YouTube Live right now. You're killing me.
So I don't know if I can go on, but I've got a couple more questions. So. All right. So Sasquatch has never been seen with clothes on. So why do you choose to go commando?
Oh, it's more comfortable.
Yeah,
you have that much hair. You try to add pants to that. There's the sweating, you get the odor. it's not good.
A little talcum powder, a little
there's chafing. It's problematic.
Yeah. Well,
these are great questions.
They have a hair in the zipper.
So you see why we called in a professional to do this? You see why?
Because you couldn't have handled
this. There's no way. I couldn't have got through it.
The hair in the zipper was hilarious. That was great. Okay. All right. So, last question.
Okay.
Is it true what they say about foot size? And is it equivalent to you? Because Terry Miners has got the biggest foot I've ever seen, by the way, and he shows it. He was just in here a minute ago.
Is already off the rails. Go ahead and answer it.
We'll leave that to the imagination.
Just like we left him off camera.
Now, they would be proud and go, yeah.
I know. You're killing me, Squatch. We have too humanized you.
Yeah, he's
that's part of the problem.
From the looks, I think genetically, I think you're right. I think there's some lineage going on there.
There's something
happening. Right. However, he's humanized. He's his environment has.
This is on you, Conway.
All right, Connie, can we have time to let her? Can we get her one more segment with her? Okay, we've got to get a commercial break in, but I want to hang around because I actually want to ask you.
Sure.
In all seriousness.
Sure.
I'm in the camp that says anything is possible.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you what's possible in Kentucky.
Absolutely.
So all right, we love it. Connie Willis is with us. Blue Rock Talk, is that right? Your YouTube channel.
Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis.
And Coast to Coast as well. We'll continue on News Radio 840 WHAS. The funniest one, I loved it. You like the silence question. You're like, that was awesome.
Big fan. You are big. Oh my God.
Am I telling you?
Channel,
Am I telling you?
This is Squatch Man. Let me make sure I get you on the shot here so everybody sees you.
That's awesome.
Look, okay, I'm like 5'3" or 4. Where are you? 6'8". And you're not playing ball, man. What's going on?
He's got a couple of years of eligibility left.
I probably do. I just don't have any coordination to go with it.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
That's awesome.
Thank you.
We'll
Sasquatch has left the building.
What do we have? Like, how many minutes will we have?
Leland Conway, right here. As soon as he subscribes to the YouTube channel, and we are live on 840 WHAS. This is like the AM station here. This is the one that's been known for years and years and years and years, and a lot of you can even hear it in Florida.
The question that Sasquatch asked her telepathically, and I have that audio.
Oh, this is good.
Oh, great.
That'll be good.
So I hope you guys can listen as well. You know, you don't have to be local to hear it. Go on the internet to 840 WHAS, but you can hear it here as well. I'm not sure if you can hear what's in our headphones or not. But thank you guys for being here. Please remember, whoever can record for me all the comments, that'll be great. But I'm hoping you guys can hear everything and it's all going well. So we're going to finish and go another segment over here, all right? So hope you guys enjoy. I told you there's always treats here on Blue Rock Talk. I'm doing okay, but it's kind of ugly looking, isn't it? All right, so Leland Conway over here. Sasquatch has left the building.
I just followed Connie on Instagram. You should too.
Hey, subscribe to me, Blue Rockers.
News Radio 840 WHAS. We have Connie Willis in studio. She fills in on Coast to Coast a couple times a month. She also has her own YouTube channel, Blue Rock Talk, and is an expert on all things Bigfoot. She's in the studio with us. We just interviewed Bigfoot. We're going to throw a podcast of this up a little bit later, right?
Yeah, and she asked him telepathically to ask her a question, and she has some special equipment.
Because Bigfoot has telepathic powers.
Right, I was able to capture with her equipment the audio of Will Clark, Sasquatch, asking her a question.
Okay,
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of grainy, but here we go.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
That was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Is that why you said you wanted to talk to a lawyer?
How dare you? Exactly. That was it. You got it. That's amazing equipment. We need that.
Connie, we're going to talk to you about the Sasquatch, because you say that there could potentially be some here in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, my gosh. They're everywhere. Okay. Once you experience them,
have you seen one?
Immediately. Well, that's a kind of another story. I don't know how much time you have right now.
We're going to have a couple minutes in a minute. All right, so hang tight. So Connie Willis will tell us about Sasquatch in the Bluegrass State coming up. Also, Terry Miners talked with Rick Pitino's lawyer. That's coming up next hour as well. So we'll drop that audio for you as well. All of it's coming up. And the governor may stop by. News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS. I'm Leland Conway. We are hanging with the great Connie Willis of Blue Rock Talk. Talking Bigfoot in the Bluegrass. Hey, we've got Terry Miners just spoke with the lawyer for Rick Pitino. We're going to have that audio for you coming up here in just a few minutes. Also, word that the governor may be able to stop by sometime this hour or early next hour, so we'll chat with him hopefully Lots to get to on that. News Radio 840 WHAS, phone number 345-1140. Oh, I said the wrong number, didn't I? 571-8484. It happens. It gets in our head. Thanks, Dave. All right. So, Connie Willis, we just had you interview our very own Bigfoot, and you pronounced that there has to be something in his lineage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's not quite, but he's been humanized. But in all seriousness, though, there's a lot of people that believe there's some things out in the woods here in Kentucky. And we got a lot of woods, probably a lot more than we think. All right, so you're holding, hold on, I got to take a picture of that.
Yeah. You're
holding up, and I'll post this on Facebook for everybody. You're holding up an actual cast of a footprint.
Yeah.
Where was that found?
I don't know where that one was. A lot of people give them to me and take a look at this as well.
How do you verify?
I know it's in radio, which is hard,
That's all right. That's why social media.
That's a knuckle right there. Those are knuckles right there. Those are cool castings when people get knuckles, because look at the size of that hand.
I know. It's huge.
Is that amazing? So they are real. I mean, I've studied a lot of things. Grew up in a haunted house. Okay, so that's usually where it starts with a lot of people. From there, you start getting a little deeper if you decide to try to figure out what these things are, because I think they connect. We're talking UFOs, aliens, different things like that. And I never ever thought about the Bigfoot. And here I grew up here in Louisville with a haunted house, not even realizing Waverly was even here, but heard about the Goat Man and Pope Lick Monster and things that growing up, right? And the Trestles and things like that. But I never really thought about it. And then I moved away for 25 years and then getting into the world of paranormal and doing a lot of television work. I wanted to kind of follow my passion of putting television and what I loved, and that was paranormal stuff. So I ended up getting into working with the people from the Poltergeist movie about pulling content together, and I met some Bigfoot people. Never thought about Bigfoot people at all. And then they let me go with them on Bigfoot searches. And
did you do any out west?
And it's real. My very first ones were in Alabama.
Okay.
And then I started learning that there's more in Kentucky than, they're all over Kentucky and Indiana, and they're everywhere. But yeah, I did go out in the Pacific Northwest.
So let's ask the obvious question.
Yeah.
And that is, why do we never see them? My hobby is hiking, and I'm out in the woods almost every weekend for some period of time.
Yeah.
Why do I never come across them? And I go to some pretty wild places in the state. I've been out west throughout the wilderness, and I color myself skeptical but open-minded.
Yeah.
So why have I never seen any evidence myself?
Well, you probably weren't looking yet or didn't know to look, because once you know that they're out there, you can start kind of looking for certain things. There's structures that you will see that they do with trees and limbs and branches, and you'll also see the footprints when it's available to see. I mean, think about it. When you go out in the woods, there's so much foliage, you can't even see your own footprint.
Right.
It's got to be just perfect where it's kind of wet or muddy or whatever, and then you can see a print. And it's got to be just perfect to get a full print, because there's got to be a muddy spot there, right? Something wet. But mostly you'll see twigs and foliage, so you're not going to see these unless you're one of these great trackers that can see it. But when you do, and you see a size like the sizes I've seen out there, you are just going, holy cow, there's a monster.
What about a body or bones or DNA?
There's people that say that they have that kind of stuff. I'm not saying they don't. I don't know. I do my own research, and I've, of course, being on Coast and Blue Rock Talk, I interview people all the time. I do something called Bigfoot Friday. So I get a ton of
Here's
stories.
a question for you. How do you tell when somebody's BSing you? I think that there are people, as I've watched these shows, and I'm like, okay, I don't know that I believe in what they're saying, but I believe they think they saw it, right? And you can tell. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can tell when somebody's being sincere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they saw something. They can't quite explain it. They're trying to put a thing to it.
Yeah.
But they saw something. And then there's other people I'm like, their eyes are shifty. So how do you tell? How do you spot the BSer from the real deal?
Well, it's pretty consistent when people see things of how they feel, what they think, what goes through their mind, and what they actually see. So there's a lot of consistencies and things like that. But you can tell more so because it takes courage to actually tell someone you saw one. Because when you see one, I don't care how brave you think you are, you're scared out of your mind because it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. And it'll freak you out.
You know how we hikers like to leave no trace?
Yeah.
If I see one, I'm going to leave a trace. Right there. Right there.
And that's where the smell comes from.
Yeah, right there.
Of a Sasquatch.
That's right there. That's a trace.
It's Leland.
So, okay, but in all seriousness, where should I look? Because because I hike a lot in Kentucky, and I think,
where do you go?
Well, I like the Red River Gorge.
Okay, Gorge.
Love the Mammoth Cave area. It's got tons of trails.
Oh my gosh, they're very well known for that. They're known for a big portal, in fact.
All right, so are those places I might see one?
Bernheim
What's
Forest.
A portal? What
apparently,
is a portal?
And I don't know about portal. That's new to me still. But apparently, portals are where you can, where creatures come out, not just Bigfoot, but pterodactyl, cyclops, all sorts of things. But
wait a minute,
that's
so I could go through a portal and come out in Mammoth Cave and come out in Red River Gorge?
Well, they say that if a human goes through a portal, they might not be able to come back out.
Make it. It's like that episode of Big Bang Theory when he did the fake. Did you ever see that?
No.
When Raj and Howard.
I'm not searching, man.
Oh, Raj and Howard, they wanted to know what Sheldon was doing down in the basement room all the time. So he put a fake video of him going through a portal and getting attacked by an alien.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool. All right,
like
so
that.
I've got a couple of minutes here. The governor's going to call in at 10:20.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So I want to know if you've ever seen anything like that you can attest to and say, yes, I believe Bigfoot is in Kentucky, and here's why.
Well, my very first interactions were actually in Alabama, but I have seen evidence here in Kentucky and Kentuckiana as well. I mean, Bernheim Forest, there's something as well not too far from here in Indiana. I don't want to give everybody's hot spots away because I don't want people going in there. We are no-kill. People are no-kill.
Yeah, please don't kill the Sasquatch if you see it.
Don't do it.
We need Will to do the news.
You know? That's right.
That's my biggest fear is that a redneck would find him. And shoot them.
Yeah. I don't know that it's possible because I actually think they're interdimensional in some way. Whatever they are, they're not like you and I.
Right.
I mean, and that's a big fight in the Bigfoot world. There's people that are kill or no kill, and then there's other people that think they're flesh and blood, and other people think they are some sort of spiritual kind of creature.
Right.
So you've got a lot of fighting amongst the group, but everybody will say they're real.
Okay, so what did you see?
So what happened with me was the very first night that I was in Alabama, the very first night I ever went, I just heard all these stories about them, and I was interviewing people, kind of doing a documentary type thing, and I didn't even expect to experience anything, but we went where they believed there were two different tribes of them. I thought, oh, this is cool. Got in a camper. You know those campers that sit like this?
Yeah.
Well, apparently those campers are and these are, it's those pull campers and where they slide out on both sides.
You're talking about the pop-ups? Yeah, the pop-up
and
campers.
There's two beds on both sides.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Well, apparently those are known to be rocked by Bigfoot. Now, nobody told me that, right? So, in the next morning when I'm telling my story of what happened, I was saying, oh my gosh, I got rocked.
Producer Dave said he doesn't think that's why they're rocking.
No.
They're blue rockers.
It was Bigfoot, Mom. It was Bigfoot.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think that way. Isn't
I'm sorry.
That funny?
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's funny. That's
go
funny.
ahead.
But like the next day from all this, I'm telling people things that they all said, Connie, we know you had an experience because you're telling us things that happened consistently that you knew nothing about. And one of them is those types of campers get rocked.
So it rocked your camper in the middle of the night?
It was rocked 4 times. It was about, let's see, we had hours of driving, hours of clearing out a spot, finally getting to camping area. It's about, I think, 2:45 in the morning. And you're exhausted at that point, right? Well, I'm just falling asleep, and all of a sudden, and great stories come after someone says all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, all of a sudden, yeah.
All of a sudden, I wake up. I'm curled up in a little ball on my left side, and I wake up, and I realize to myself, why am I wide awake, and every cell in my body is not only awake, but it feels good. It should be groggy. I just fell asleep, right?
Yeah.
I was wide awake, and there was a rock underneath. And I said, whoa, what is that? No, maybe I'm really sleeping. It rocked again. And I went, holy cow, is that the person on the other side of the tent over there? And I was going to slowly try to, because I knew something was not right. So I was going to try to slowly kind of roll over and look over the other side. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's rocking on one side. What if it rocks on another? And it rocked on another side.
Are you sure it wasn't a bear?
There was no sound, absolutely no sound. And it was foliage everywhere. There were twigs, there were branches, there were leaves. We made a clearing in the woods, right? Okay,
yeah.
So no sound whatsoever.
Fascinating.
It was rocked 4 different times from 2 different locations, maybe 3 different locations now. But they had said to me, something, mind speak. I experienced mind speak, and it had let me know that I could unzip that piece on the tent right then and there and to one of those windows and see what was outside. And this is my first time ever out. People go for 20 years and never see one at all.
So did you see it?
Well,
I got 30 seconds here.
I was, remembered all the King Kong films that I had nightmares with when I was a kid, seeing them in the drive-in in black and white, and I said, you know what, I'm not ready yet. This is what I said in my head.
Right.
I didn't even know I was having a conversation.
So you didn't want to see what was out there.
And this thing says, isn't this what you came for? And I said, I understand I'm not ready yet. And it kind of said, okay, let me loose. And then I heard it over there by someone else's camper lifting up stuff. And it was pretty amazing. They talk to you. They're real.
All right. How can people follow you on YouTube?
Tell them to go to Rock Talk with Connie Willis. You got to get that whole thing in there. Please subscribe and hit the notification. We talk about Bigfoot and aliens and UFOs. It's Earth's most interesting conversations.
I like that.
So crypto
Blue
Connie
Rock
as well,
Talk.
talking
That
about
makes sense.
cryptocurrency. That's right, baby.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Sure, thank
All right,
you.
We
This was
appreciate
fun.
you. Yeah, it was, and thanks for having fun with Will Clark on us. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely, and Coast to Coast, November 25th, New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks, Connie Willis. You hear her on Coast to Coast. What time does that come on here? Is
1
it midnight?
a.m.
Is it 1 a.m.?
Gosh, holy cow, yeah. It's
Awesome.
the next day.
All right. Thanks, Connie.